Our closest neighboring solar system is Alpha Centauri, at 4 light years away. If we could develop a propulsion technology capable of traveling at 20% of the speed of light, we'd be able to reach the star system in 20 to 25 years. But how would humans survive the trip? There are no rest stops between Earth and Proxima Centauri, one of the planets in the Alpha Centauri system. Making sure astronauts had enough food and water would be just one of many concerns. What about the psychological impact of over 2 decades of isolation? What if an astronaut developed a serious illness? One thing is for sure, the astronauts who arrive at Proxima would be very different than the ones who left Earth. Unless, what if they didn't need to eat? What if they weren't subjected to the mind-numbing monotony of 25 years of routine? What if we could reduce the chances of illness and limit the aging process so that our astronauts would be as fit as the day they left Earth once they step out onto Proxima Firma? What if we could stop time for our explorers? Cryptobiosis, the state of extreme metabolic inactivity, could hold the key to placing long-duration space travelers in a stasis in order to protect them from environmental conditions while conserving resources such as food, water, medical supplies, and life support systems like heat. Several organisms right here on Earth are able to use cryptobiosis to survive adverse conditions. The wood frog has the capability to cease all brain and cardiac activity during winter. It does this via a naturally occurring process which drains water from their cells. Frozen water would crystallize and cause irreparable cell damage. However, the wood frog's liver produces glucose that replaces the water in the cells and serves as a natural antifreeze. When springtime comes, the process reverses and the wood frog resumes its life like nothing ever happened. Could a similar process allow our cosmic explorers to enter a state of cryptobiosis for much of the voyage to the nearest star system and beyond? Drastically slowing a human's metabolic rate would allow for a minimum level of nutritional support that could be administered intravenously. The University of Alberta conducted a study that showed oxygen consumption levels during sleep are up to 8% lower than during waking hours. These levels could be even lower during cryptobiosis. A study entitled "The Siberian Wood Frog Survives for Months Underwater Without Oxygen," which was published in 2019 in the journal Scientific Reports, proved that the Siberian wood frog not only survived in extremely cold temperatures, but also in an environment with tremendously low oxygen concentrations. What if we could somehow re-engineer the human genome to take advantage of these characteristics found in frogs? If humans were able to employ these biological traits, we could effectively stop time during the voyage between planets. The European Space Agency is currently conducting research into a pill that would induce a hibernation-like state in humans. ESA theorizes astronauts housed within soft shell pods would experience no muscle or bone density degradation during the roughly 180-day cruise to Mars. Segregating these pods in a separate part of the spacecraft could make it easier to introduce and maintain artificial gravity. Doing so would help prevent muscle atrophy during hibernation. Radiation exposure from high-energy particles is a key hazard of deep space travel. But because the hibernating crew will be spending so much time in their hibernation pods, shielding, such as water containers, could be easily concentrated around them. If humanity has any hope of reaching out beyond our blue orb and truly exploring the universe, we need to think in terms much broader than just propulsion technology. Cryptobiosis would redefine our philosophy and how we look at time. Imagine emerging from stasis in orbit of a new world hundreds of light years from Earth and tens of thousands of years after everyone you've ever known is long since dead. Your very mission long since forgotten to history. You and your crew, now the sole representatives of a species that may no longer even exist.